Andy Sullivan from Blue Collar Corner. I got a special guest here tonight. I'm with Andrew Breitbart. Mr. Breitbart, thank you very much. This is your book signing, The Righteous Indignation, and we're pretty much kicking off the tour here, aren't we?
Basically, tomorrow's the beginning of my media tour. I've had 4 hours of sleep over the last 72 hours. I just come from Jacksonville. Then I went to Madison. I had to fly 2 stopovers in Atlanta and Memphis, and then I got held over in Chicago last night. My flight got delayed, and I've had 4 hours sleep. So if I sound delusional, it's because I am delusional. And
never happened, Andrew.
Now I have to be on TV in a delusional state, which I've done before. When the Shirley Sherrod thing happened, I was on. I hadn't slept in like 72 hours, and I went on Good Morning America, and I honestly saw flying psychedelic monkeys in front of my head when George Stephanopoulos was asking me questions on live TV. So I'm going to have to go to bed early tonight.
Well, George Stephanopoulos is quite hairy, so I could see that happening. Would you like to maybe speak a little more about the Pigford-Glickman lawsuit? A lot of people don't know the backstory on that whole Shirley Sherrod issue.
Well, I mean, that's what I've been obsessed with for the last 8 months. That's why the president insisted on firing Shirley Sherrod without giving her due process. And the media got a twofer. They got to protect the president by diverting attention away from his mistake. She said I helped the white farmer. My piece said eventually her basic humanity informs her to help the white farmer. And the video actually had the part where she said it's not about black versus white, it's about rich versus poor, her redemption part. But the media, which I've been so hard on, diverted attention away from the President of the United States' culpability in firing her to trying to destroy me for 3 weeks. Well, during that 3 weeks, I kept getting emails, people saying, this is about Pigford, this is about Pigford, and I ignored it because I was under fire, and, I didn't need this weird Citizen Kane Rosebud, tip. I didn't know what they were talking about, and I didn't have the wherewithal to figure it out. MSNBC, which has pure coordination with the White House, starts saying that I'm responsible for black farmers not getting their money in the Pigford settlement. Well, I've never heard of the Pigford settlement. I don't know any black farmers. I don't know anything about this case, so I've spent the last 9 months, and I've even brought on a liberal blogger and a MoveOn.org filmmaker by the name of Lee Stranahan, who I'd never even met face-to-face, and we came up with a report that we handed to him and said, will you make a documentary to try and prove or disprove our thesis about what Pigford is? And in essence, this is what it was. A bunch of black farmers had a legitimate case against the USDA. They sued the USDA. They had a lawyer by the name of Al Pires, about the worst guy you could possibly imagine, out of central casting of a class action lawyer. And he hijacked their righteous case where they wanted to get their properties back, which were in foreclosure, or to help them from their peril. These 157 or so guys were not going to make this lawyer mega rich. And so he hijacked their case and worked with the Justice Department and the USDA and federal judge, Judge Paul Friedman, and they came up with a settlement that was not in the best interest of the black farmers. And the black farmers did not want to go along with this, but the federal judge went with it, and they threw in this thing not to help the black farmers, but to help attempted farmers. And
so you didn't even have to be a black farmer, just attempt to be one.
Yes, the black farmers who tried to get their property back, oftentimes, if not the majority of the times, actually lost their property. But the people who tried to get the $50,000 checks for attempting to farm got them, and all they had to do was say they attempted to farm. And throughout the South for the last, over a decade, there have been seminars to teach people how to get their $50,000 checks, and in the black churches and at fish fries, the heads of the black farmers associations, in essence, sell it based upon all you have to do is lie, and that in essence the rationalization for lying is that this is reparations. And the Democratic Party is using these $50,000 checks, tens of thousands of them, as an argument to continue to vote for the Democratic...
To buy the state.
To buy the state. That's how Barack Obama the sole sponsor to Pigford 2 legislation.
A junior senator, correct?
Junior senator. This was one of his only things he ever sponsored. He was
the only thing he didn't vote president on.
Yes, he voted for this, and it added an extra 72,500 claimants when there were only 18,000 black farmers in the country, when there were only supposed to be 3,000 claimants at most to begin with. So President Obama resurrected what was a lawsuit that was over.
Settled.
It was settled. And he resurrected it based upon the rationale that this would help him win votes in the rural black South.
When are you going to hit the president with this?
Well, we have a lot. We've been reporting this since December, but we're rolling it out. We're doing a documentary on it where we haven't really gone after the president as hard as we have. We've laid out the case that the fraud is there. We have, in our documentary, one of the top lawyers being asked, Othello Cross, about the fraud, which the head of the USDA, Tom Vilsack, says there's only about 3 cases of fraud. Well, we have one of the top lawyers in Pigford who represented all the cases in Arkansas, and he says that his own clients got away with murder. He found out after the fact that they had never farmed in their entire lives, and he basically says hundreds of his own clients defrauded the government. Well, that's what happened around the entire South. People were taught that this was reparations. It's being sold as reparations. So,
Andrew, how can we help?
Get it out there.
Pigford and Glickman.
It's Pigford Glickman in 1999. Now it's Pigford Vilsack. And if you don't like the fact that $2.75 billion has gone to people who've never farmed before in the name of helping the black farmer, the lawsuit has worked so well that women's farmers are now going against the government. Love versus Vilsack. Hispanic farmers are going after it through the Treasury. Garcia versus Vilsack, and there's even a Native American farmer one called Keepseagle versus. It's a template reparations lawsuit to pay a constituency to continue to vote for the Democratic Party.
Well, I implore everyone out there to please look that up and help Andrew Breitbart bring this to the attention to big media. Now, Andrew, do you mind if I hit you with some quick names in just one word?
Sure.
Ready?
I don't know how to do this, but I'll
try. It's a lightning round. It's my first one. It's my first one. Come on. You ready?
I'm for both.
Backman.
Love.
Palin.
Love.
Gingrich.
Not. Liked.
Okay. Romney.
Romney care.
That's not good. Huckabee.
Praise Jesus.
Amen. Trump.
Hair.
Andrew Breitbart, God bless you. Thank you so much for your time.